Hi, it's Tink here from Project Everest. Just following on from our last video about why we're for profit, what I want to go through in this video is why, or what our definition of social enterprise is, how we define it and why that's important. So what I'm going to cover is through this next 4 minutes is just that exact definition. So firstly, social enterprise. What we define as social enterprise is that there is a socially beneficial product or service. That's at the core of it, that the social benefit is in the product or service itself that the end user is purchasing, and ultimately the reason why that is because it aligns financial and moral incentives. When you've got a business where the benefit is in the product or service itself, it means that you will push everything into making that product available to more people and improve the product. If you're at a situation like Thank You Water, which I have talked about before, where you've got water in Australia, so bottled water, and the sale of that bottled water funding projects overseas, then if there's an issue with the sales of bottled water in Australia, they will need to divert financial and personnel resources to save the core revenue driver of the business, which is a product in Australia that can be gained anywhere. It doesn't provide any social benefit. Whereas if your product or service is selling into communities in developing countries and the sale of that product goes down, you need to divert resources and everything into ensuring that that product is something that's working for the communities and it's actually making profit and making money. So we make sure that that is our definition at the core, that we have that benefit in the product or service. Now, we have 4 components to what makes up our businesses and what we try to ensure they have. Firstly is this social benefit in the product or service. That's number 1, that's a cornerstone. The next thing is that it is tailored to the community that we work with or what we were doing overseas. The next thing, that there is healthy and profitable cash flows, which means that we seek to ensure that we can bootstrap if possible, so we can fund or self-fund through the sale of the product or service. It also means that there's low risk in terms of we have got product market fit and we know that that product is wanted, and so therefore we're reducing the risk. And the final thing is that low risk in terms of the characteristic of the business, in the capital that is required to create the business, to make it successful, to deliver this socially beneficial product. It involves low risk. We're not looking into making railways, or we're not looking into making huge capital investments in the countries we operate. So that is one of the key components. So to sum up this video, the key thing about our definition of social enterprise is that the social benefit is in the product or service itself. That's where the social benefit exists, and with the 4 components of the business that we're creating, it needs to have firstly that key component, secondly to have a product or service that's tailored to the community, and healthy and profitable cash flows, and finally low risk. What this delivers as an ultimately in the end is this social benefit, and it's a way in which it's ultra affordable, it's consistent, and it's tailored to the community, which is our promise to the people that we work with. So that's it. In terms of looking at our videos, we've got a video on why we are for profit, which is a good lead-in into this video, and we've got a whole bunch of other videos. Check them out on our website, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.